Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock, folks. And today we have a very special guest joining us. You may know her from her player interviews that she does, which are absolutely phenomenal. You may also know her as the queen of Blue Jays Twitter. We are talking to Jordan Cicchelli. Welcome in. And let me just say, folks, this is the second time that we had to do this because I mispronounced your name the first time, but I think I got it right that time.
Did good.
Welcome in, Jordan. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, so tell me a little bit, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you're having a little bit of a career change right now. You know, what's been kind of going on with that right now?
Yeah, so I was with TSN, part of Bar Down, for like 3.5 years. It's funny. It's kind of full circle. I got hired because of a Bo Bichette tweet I put out back like in 2020. I got a DM, set up a call, got a job basically right then and there. And I've been doing social media for TSN and Bar Down for 3.5 years. But then I decided, you know what? I want to mix it up a little bit. Entering the new year, kind of want to continue on my journey of working in baseball. And so, yeah, I just decided to hang up the skates, I guess, because, Bar Down, hockey, and I'm a free agent as of right now. So
that must have been one fire tweet. I'm actually not familiar with it. Do you remember what it was that you said?
Yeah. So do you remember back, I don't know if you even seen it, but like in 2020, people were making like jokes about Bo Bichette's name and relating it to different things. So like my tweet was just like, Bo Bichette joins a frat, Bo Bichette. And so like that kind of took off, and like there was like Bo Bichette like makes pizza like dough Bichette, and like people were just doing that. And also like I feel so bad because I know he like 1,000% knows that of me because of that, because I've tarnished his name for himself. And I remember a coworker of mine like interviewed him, and he was like, "Yeah, I know about that. Next question." So yeah, really fun. Man. I'm so sorry, Bo.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say you made a name off of yourself, off of making names of him. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I guess you guys never touched on it after that, eh?
Pardon?
You guys never touched on it after that? Just totally left it out?
I've never even interviewed him. I think he knew, like, when he'd see me on the field, be like, not that chick. Not her. So.
Well, speaking of interviews, you do an absolute kick-ass job. And before you came on here, I was doing my research. I was looking back at a few of your biggest hits, okay? And some of the questions you come up with are they're great, man. They are so great. So I actually have, I wrote down 3 of my favorites, and I wanted to ask you, because obviously you got to ask all the players and everything, and you get their answers, but I want to hear from you. Okay. So the first one, what would your go-to karaoke song be?
Oh my God, it's gotta be Jolene.
Jolene Fire.
Jolene.
Respect. Has that ever been performed before? Did we miss that? No?
We are waiting for that moment to arise.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, Twitter Live is a thing. Mm-hmm. So whenever you're ready, I
got like a little karaoke mic I got at Amazon. I could totally set that up and do it.
You're ready to go.
Right now.
What are we waiting for?
Yeah, everybody comment down below. Jolene, if you want to see a Blue Jays Today, Jordan karaoke live stream, guys. The offseason's quiet right now, so maybe we can make it happen. Next question. If you could be a guest star on any TV show, what would it be?
I love The Office. I want to see The Office, but I've been really like crushing like How I Met Your Mother lately, like watching it for the second time. And I'm going to have to go with How I Met Your Mother.
That is,
and also just the whole Robin Canadian thing. Yeah.
I can quote all of that show. I have watched that show probably end to end close to double-digit times.
Wow. Okay. Hall of Fame Wilt Chamberlain numbers on that. Okay. Love that.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last question here, and this one actually really did crack me up because I just never thought to ask anybody about it this way.
Okay.
Sock, cleat, sock, cleat. Which one are you?
I'm sock, cleat, but then something gets in the cleat. My sock's all reared in the cleat. Cleat comes off, fix the sock, back on the cleat.
A little bit
usually how it always goes.
In there, just like from the leftover games,
Yeah, and also I can't even untie the laces because it just has all the dirt and clay in it, and it makes that squeaky noise.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like pulling them on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I know the feeling when it's like rusty and then it's just tight. Yeah.
Oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bad.
Adam, what are you?
Oh, I was always sock, cleat. Anyone saying sock, cleat, that is a special person. Like,
dude, I think that's a bit of a red flag, honestly. Like, if anybody actively does that
means you're walking around in one moment with just a full cleat and a sock on one foot, and then just barefoot on the other.
No bueno on that one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jordan, for answering that. Guys, if you haven't already done so, go watch Jordan's interviews with all the players and stuff. She does a great job. Thank you for that. I very much look forward to hearing Jolene reenacted live on camera at some point, whenever you're ready.
I got you.
Well, let's get to what a lot of people really want to hear, and that is the Blue Jays offseason. Right now, as we're recording this, it's completely dead. So if you're rewatching this weeks down the line, it is dead right now. And I want to get your kind of insight. What have you experienced? What are your opinions? What are your takes? This is the platform to let it all out. You are safe here on Blue Jays Today, where everyone's opinion has been heard once or twice or 1,000 times. So for starters, let's just start broad. Are you surprised with the lack of moves that are happening this offseason? Because we were fully expecting big moves. Bellinger, maybe we're going out. Ohtani, we're going to touch on that in a little bit. But are you surprised by only a KK? Granted, love KK, he's coming back. And then an IKF move? What are your thoughts?
It is an absolute lackluster of an offseason. I don't know. There's nothing cooking. I was going to say, I don't know what's cooking. Nothing's cooking. We're going into the offseason and we're hearing Soto. We're hearing Ohtani. And to then just like, I love KK, like you said, but for that to be who we have and like who we signed in IKF, I mean, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just how like last season ended with like the whole wild card game with Barrios and then Atkins and no one's taking the blame for pulling him kind of thing. I thought, okay, you know what? They know that like Jays fans are angry now, right? They're going to want to do stuff this offseason. Flatline. It's dead. Nothing's happening.
I would have made some sort of like coaching change. I know they moved around. I think it was a baseball hitting strategist. They moved him around. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I'm surprised there wasn't any more drastic moves made to the staff. Are you?
Honestly, kind of, but also at the same time, I think like, for instance, like I thought like, okay, maybe Schneider's going to go. And then, people are saying, no, Atkins is going to go. Well, Shapiro's not going to get rid of Atkins. They're kind of a package deal, but no, not Shapiro's not getting rid of Atkins or vice versa and all that kind of jazz. So honestly, I'm not too shocked by it because if they're not going to make any changes with that and not many changes with the on-field product, then I don't know anymore.
You sound very defeated.
I'm defeated because I'm just like, I'm expecting every day something to happen and then nothing happens.
Right.
Nothing happens. I mean, so if a Soler signing wanted to happen like while we're doing this right now.
Oh God, I would hope so. We were praying for a live stream tonight.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, going back to the whole press conferences and everything, I mean, when I heard those, I agree with you. Like after I heard what Ross and what Mark said, it was very clear. Everybody was covering their own ass. Nobody's getting let go. Like we are making sure that everything is staying status quo. But in those press conferences, it was also made clear that we want to get better. We are going to try to actively get better. I specifically remember them saying, well, the payroll is going to stay roughly the same, which when you do a little bit of quick math, that means $40 to $50 million that are just not accounted for right now. So every Blue Jays fan's thinking to themselves, okay, well, we're going to go out. We're actively going to do something. But then last week or just a few days ago, you had Ross Atkins come out again, and it was such a different tune. Like it was a total backpedal. It was a full 180 switch where, okay, well, I like the team where it's at right now. We're not going to be going out. We're only going to be getting one guy. If we do that, it's going to be one more player. Why do you think he did that full 180 shift? Does that have anything to do with Ohtani? Is there something maybe with Rogers Communication Company? Like, what was it there that we're missing?
Honestly, I'm just guessing. I feel like the Ohtani thing must have defeated the guy. And I will say, I also don't, like, I do feel bad kind of for Atkins and like how hard, I don't know how hard he tried. Probably pretty hard. I don't know. But just the fact to be that close and for it to fall through, and then for everyone to be kind of saying like, yeah, like it's going to happen, then it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
He probably feels kind of defeated himself, kind of letting it down. But then at the same time, like we also just lost out on Soto. And then from there, like who do we get? Because no one's really ringing the bells as hard as they are. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Also, I'm just also throwing this in the air. Like there's so many renovations going on, so much money's being put into the stadium. Like, is that where they're allocating that money or something? Like I don't know.
Yeah, like we were kind of throwing out a theory that maybe they only had in the budget for a big spend on Ohtani, right? Because at least Ohtani, you're making that money back, right? From the entire Japanese market coming over here, right? So I wonder if that was the big spend, and then anybody else was just we weren't going to get the Chapman, we weren't going to get the Bellinger, we're going to flirt with the idea of doing it, but then if the Ohtani fell through, maybe we would go and we would get some of these I don't want to call them lower tier players, but the Solairs, the Petersons, the Martinez.
When you are relating them to Shohei Ohtani, effectively everybody is going to be a lower tier player. And I specifically remember coming on here, going on Twitter and telling people, guys, I love that we're in on Shohei Ohtani, but if we miss, then you might be in a situation where you're going, we're missing out on everything. And there were so many people that came and said, no, the offseason, it's long. There's going to be more players that you can go after. And now it does kind of feel like, well, we missed on Ohtani, and now you're whiffing on everyone, right? In your opinion, are the Jays going to go out and do anything at this point?
I don't even know, because like now's the time you kind of want to hurry. Spring training's in how many weeks away? Like 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
Yeah. We are now closer. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're now closer to spring training than the end of the World Series.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
What are we doing, guys?
What are we doing, guys? Come on. Pick up the phone to make a call. But no, like seriously, like I feel like I don't know ever what is going on with our front office's minds. I can't ever gauge it. It's kind of like, they're not Michael Scotts, but they got kind of like trumpets playing in the brains kind of thing. And I'm just Pam and Jim, and I'm trying to get my work done here, right? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. I would love Soler. Like, even like, I remember right after, I've seen some people saying after Ohtani being like, I don't want Bellinger. Well, it's like, no one's going to be Ohtani. So like, suck it up. Like, if we get Bellinger, that's pretty freaking great. But
do you think there's a chance? Do you think there's a chance we still get Bellinger? Because I mean, I have the feeling like we're way distancing ourselves, and it's probably going to be the Cubs.
Yeah, that's a rear view. My boyfriend's a Cubs fan, so half the office is Cubs, half of it's Jays. So I'll still be happy if it's a Cub, because then I get to still kind of cheer for him in some sense of it.
Right.
But yeah, either way, I'm cheering for him in this room.
Yeah, you'll go to one of them. Probably not the one that we want.
For real. Yeah, I mean, and Bellinger, I am also looking to in the rear view mirror, but you bring up Soler a few times, which would be, in my opinion, a pretty fabulous option, because team as a whole last year, no pop, no slug, no home runs. They were all down. Soler brings that. Another player that is being widely linked to the Toronto Blue Jays, and we just keep hearing, and it feels like at this point, if I was to be betting man, if I had to put money on anybody, it would be this guy, Jhonatan Peterson. Thoughts on him? Is there any weight to that? Is there any legs to that? And would he push the needle for the Toronto Blue Jays?
Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
I don't think he does really. Like he's going up against he's helping when we go up against righty bats, right? Or righty pitchers. But he's not doing enough, like in the sense that like he's just been on and off. Like every season he has up, down, you know what I mean? And his stats line from last year does not impress me too much, honestly. I don't know. I'm not really impressed with it. JD Martinez, on the other hand, I'd rather honestly him, even though he's 36 years old.
Yeah.
He's better than Peterson.
Yeah, he drives in the runs, you know.
Peterson, though, on the other hand, also could be a hand in the outfield, but he's not great in the outfield. So it's, honestly, my brain is multiple right now, because generally, what do the Jays do at this point?
Yeah, Yeah, well, that's my question. I mean, like we've kind of talked on here a bunch. Like, okay, if the offseason, let's start talking worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
We don't go sign anybody else. These are the guys that we have. I brought it up in a podcast or a little video that we do, look shorter form videos. I've kind of talked about like, well, I guess the key here, it's got to be on the back of our core guys, of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You know, he's the only guy that I can really bet to have such a high ceiling of a season. What needs to happen for you to feel confident that the Jays are going to make another postseason run?
Honestly, I will say I would have loved the trade to happen. I would have loved a trade. I know people trickled the idea of Jose Ramirez coming. That, I think, was he a free agent? Was it last season?
I think it was.
Or was it 2 years ago?
I think he never hit, but he was like, there was talks of him getting traded because his contract was coming to an end.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I remember, I think it was around the same time that Freddie Freeman was going to the Dodgers. People kept saying he's going to go to Jays. That was the summer of everyone was going to be a Blue Jay to me. But, you know, from then, I love Jose Ramirez. So it would have been awesome to get him coming at third. But just like if you look at our roster and you just compare it to, like, for instance, the Yankees is getting Soto. The Red Sox are also rumored to be getting Soler. I hope they don't. Hope they don't. And then you have the Orioles who have like young guys coming out of their like butts. Basically, they have so many. That sounded really bad, but you know what I meant. They just have like a whole.
I have the visual now. Thank you. Thank you.
I was.
You said that this was a safe space, but come on, like.
I'm so sorry, but you know what I mean. They just have this like a full like. They just have so many guys that they can develop to be good and call up. And how are we supposed to go up against that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, folks, like, I don't care what Ross Atkins says. He's happy with this team, whatever. IKF, Santiago Espinal, you know, maybe if he comes up, or Elvis Martinez, that to me is not a sound strategy at third base. That just isn't a winning strategy.
I don't get how we can't even make it past the wild card rounds and we have Matt Chapman, but we're going to do it now.
Yeah, it really did feel like, and kind of what you're hinting here is we got to make some sort of large move. Like that's the only thing that can really save the Jays. Like if you make a large move, at least if some guys don't hit what their potential is supposed to be, like at least it kind of saves you, right? It's a safety net to get back into the postseason. But now you're really banking on every single player to do well this season. And then you're asking if we do sign Jhonatan Peterson, he has to be now Brandon Belt, you know, like at that kind of level.
At least,
to get back to the postseason. And everyone has to do more. So it's a tough ask.
I was talking to somebody about this last night, and you know, I can totally buy into the fact that Guerrero might be in for a good year, and Bo Bichette probably will be in for a good year. And could George Springer come back into form? Sure, I can buy all of that. But what I was talking about with this guy, it was saying, okay, so if all of those guys do well, are we also to anticipate that all of the pitchers are just to stay exactly the same, right? It's like there's going to be a give and take. We had one of the best pitching rotations that I have ever seen as a Blue Jays fan in my entire life last season. And we still couldn't win a single game in the wild card series, even though we held them to 4 runs. Now, I expect them to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be at that level again, right? So there's going to be a give and take, and maybe the offense, maybe it does get better, but there might be some regression in the pitching side of things as well. So it just feels like this lack of, or this inability to go out and make a move, it's kind of just wishful thinking from my standpoint.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I want these Jays guys who have had struggles this past season to obviously do well. And Vlad, have you seen Vlad's workout videos?
Oh yeah,
every year he posts them every year, but I'm eating it all up this year.
I'm on his Instagram almost every day.
There's a new meaning to Vladdy Daddy, in my opinion. Okay, like yes.
There you go. But like this is like his year to really just like. I feel like everyone still just sees him as Vlad Guerrero's son. I feel like he could totally just use this year to bounce back and make his own name for himself as a generational player, which he can be. He can be that. So,
yeah, honestly, we need the thump from Vlad. Like I'm not expecting him to be like MVP Vlad. Like that's a really hard ask. Like that's a once in a a career type of season for most players. But if he could just get back to just, look, he still drove in, I think it was 94 RBIs last year. He still drove in like a lot of runs, but and that was with him, kind of hitting his floor.
Sure.
Like what what most people think. If you could just give me like somewhere between that and what he did in 2021, like that third spot in the lineup is going to be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also, like, even like you said before with the rotation, like Manoah, I'm going to be honest, Manoah scares me right now. I don't know what's going on there. No idea what's going on there. And are the Jays going to go into it right away and be like, all right, he's going to start again? Or is he going to take some time still again? And are we going to call up Tiedemann? Like, what's going to happen?
Give us your thoughts on that. Like, how would you, because I did want to transition to Manoah, how would you tackle that scenario? Because there's so many different trains of thoughts. Like, if you were the GM, like, how would you walk into this?
Again, I don't know what we're doing as a GM at this point. So what I would do and what I think he will do, I think are two different things. But I feel like the Jays are going to go in with Manoah. I feel like they're just going to, flip the page, new season with Manoah and have him balls ablazing, basically. Personally, I think after last year, obviously, I like Manoah. I want him to do good. Great guy. But it's still, obvious, like, as a Jays fan, it left kind of a bad taste in my mouth, the whole, like, not showing up to Florida, like, the complex there. And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I think, like, if he doesn't perform well this season, is this going to be it for him as a Blue Jay? Like, this might be his make or break year, genuinely.
Potentially. I mean, you might see a trade in the works. I mean, like, Verdugo got traded because of the bad relationship with his manager, right? Like, you could see that this year. And I look, if he performs, I think everyone's going to forget about it. Everyone's going to forgive him if he's throwing up a low 3, high 2 ERA again. But if he doesn't, yeah, you're right. He's in the doghouse for the Jays.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you think if he is doing poorly, sure, maybe he can get traded? Is that the catalyst that would bring Ricky Tiedemann up here? And is he somebody that you think could really throw for the Toronto Blue Jays next year?
Honestly, I'm a believer. I am a believer. I eat anything up. Honestly, the whole David Schneider thing going into that, ate it up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, people have been getting on us for loving Dave Schneider. I don't know. Come on, guys. Like, how could you not love this guy?
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Who's hating on Babe?
That's what. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know who you are in the comments.
I was going to say job, but I also don't have a job. So okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like that. What if he's a guy? Like, what are your expectations on him? Like, do you think he's going to be as hype, or is he going to hit some sort of like, realistic, middle ground?
Tiedemann or Babe?
David Schneider.
Oh, okay. I want good things. Maybe this is his year to shine. He shined when he came up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe this offseason he's working harder, knowing that he does have like a stable spot on this like roster. Maybe he'll do good. Fingers crossed he does. Honestly, I feel like he honestly with a nickname like Babe Schneider.
Well,
you're thinking he could be a household name in Toronto.
Yeah.
So.
He's a fan favorite. And I mean, at this point, like with the amount of hype that is surrounding this guy, like it's almost like he's forced to hit that level. Like, shit, we have a literal t-shirt with this guy's face on it. It's like that is a thing that Toronto Blue Jays fans do because we are that crazy for that star power. And I feel like with the construction of this roster right now, you need those breakouts. It's gotta be a Davis Schneider breakout. It has to be a Kevin Biggio breakout, right? Where is Dalton Varsho at? Where are you? Like, is that a guy that is going to show up for the Toronto Blue Jays? Like this is the way that Ross Atkins has structured this team. And you look over at the New York Yankees, they're going out, they're getting it done. And you look over at Boston, they are starting to do some things. And like you said, Baltimore, they're young and they got prospects up the wazoo. If you had to rank the AL East, power rank the AL East where it is right now, where are the Toronto Blue Jays? Are we still better than the New York Yankees, or have they overtaken us?
Oh, I don't even know at this point, because here's the thing. They get Soto, they have Judge. That already, I'm gasping for air right now. And just unbelievable what that is. I'm thinking the Yankees are ahead. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Also, going into the season, knowing that you made these big acquisitions, that's just a confidence boost in itself for the team.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It shows that your front office basically gives a shit. So
Yeah. No, I feel like it is a total momentum boost. And I've said this publicly multiple times, and I hate that I'm saying it. I think Juan Soto is going to win MVP next year. I think in a contract year, this guy's going to go crazy and he's going to put up 45, 50 home runs.
A lefty in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, it is going to be stupid. And again, like now they're looking at Marcus Stroman. I don't know if you heard about that. Actually, what are your thoughts on that? Because I was kind of shocked at the Blue Jays reception. A lot of people, when they were coming in, they were talking about Marcus Stroman to the Yankees. All these Jays fans were in there saying, good, we don't want him. Get rid of him. He can take him. Like he's a cancer to the clubhouse. It's literally what people were saying on Twitter. I know that Marcus Stroman has one hell of a personality, one hell of an ego, but he can also kind of ball.
And him back in Toronto would just be, I mean, fan favorite. Like everyone's going to be whipping out the Stroman sixes again. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on the Stroman thing?
Honestly, if he goes to the Yankees, I don't really care honestly too much. So to be totally honest here, but I do love him. Like he was my favorite Jay back in 2015, 2016. Wasn't my favorite. Have my Stroman jersey somewhere in my house. We have somewhere in my house, but yeah. I don't mind though if he goes to the Yankees. He's not what he was though when he was in Toronto. So that's why I feel it's been X amount of years since he's not as great as he was in Toronto, honestly. So if he goes, he goes. I don't think he's going to get a pardon.
He's more of like a depth guy, if anything.
Yeah, no. And also, I was going to say, with his personality, I don't mind someone kind of being. I said it on my podcast I did with my boyfriend. I said that he's not a douche, but he has that good douchey mentality, kind of that that swagger, basically, kind of thing. Yeah. Someone's like, call him a douchebag. I was like, no. I said he's not a douchebag. He just kind of carries himself in this in a certain demeanor, which I think the Jays need more of that. Honestly, if they can find a guy who really does act like he doesn't give a shit, that'd be great.
Yeah,
kind of love that. Admirable.
It feels like, and I always thought of them like kind of an apple from the same tree. Manoah has that level of dog in him, and it almost felt like it went a little too far last year. Like it's like we got really about ourselves too much last year, and it's like the ego just kind of creeped across the line. Now he's got to hone it back in, but it does feel like Manoah has that Stroman level of dog, that fight in him, that energy.
But you're right. Like I felt like we were missing that, and maybe there was a factor. Like Manoah's not on the team for most of the season last year. Maybe we're missing that kind of confidence level.
No, exactly.
Out of the team.
Totally. Yeah.
I want to kind of wrap up all this Blue Jays talk right here and get your final thoughts. Based on everything that you have seen in this offseason and what the Blue Jays look like going into 2024, what would you say is our percentage of making a playoff spot? What are the odds the Blue Jays make a playoff spot at this point with this roster, with other teams in the AL? What do you kind of have? And obviously, there's no weight to it. You can whip out any percentage you want.
Like making the wild card even, or literally just
any spot. You could win the division, wild card, anything.
You're not going to win the division, so we'll back that one up.
0% of the division.
If I'm one thing, I'm a realist, but I'm also delusional at the same time, but a realist. I'd say 78% on a random number, 78% that we were going to make a wild card game at least.
Okay.
And we will win one. We will win one. I will add to it.
Okay. I like that. I like those odds.
Yeah, that is pure optimism right there. And I will also say, if they do that, if they make it and if they win one, I'm going to ask a further question. Does that save Ross Atkins' job?
If they do not make it past the wild card round, no. Anything before the wild card round, they don't make it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at right now, too. I mean, if there is any reality where they first off don't make playoffs or they do make playoffs and we get embarrassed again and lose both of them, I don't think anybody is saving Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, John Schneider could be on the hot seat. I think all of them are like chopping block. I think you might even start hearing conversations, blasphemous to say, I know, but a Bo trade, a Vlad trade, if all of that transpires.
My God.
I know it hurts, but it's so real.
I know.
Yeah.
We gotta hope we hit the 78, and maybe even a little bit. We gotta hit the bigger odd or the lower odd, I guess, of moving on
for real
from the wild card, because I'm not ready for a rebuild, man. We've been so hyped up with this team. I love this core. We gotta have them just do well and win some of those close ball games, because we're gonna have a ton this year. That's for sure.
Look, if I was a Strowman fan, I was an even bigger Gibby fan, and Gibby left because he did not want to rebuild. I can't say that we lost Gibby for a second rebuild. I can't do that.
No, Gibby wouldn't want that at all.
No.
Gibby.
Before we wrap things up, Jordan, I do need a quick pivot right here and a quick playoff prediction. Those Cleveland Browns, Joe Flacco, slinging the rock, slinging the pigskin. How far are they going?
We're gonna beat Houston. We're gonna beat the Texans. We're gonna do it.
Okay, yeah,
we're gonna do it. Put that right in there. That's 1,000%. That is 1,000%.
I can believe that.
Yep,
Rookie QB struggle in their first playoff start. CJ Stroud, rookie QB. I could totally see you guys taking that one.
But from there, again, if I'm one thing, I'm a realist. And life as a Browns fan, what do we know? We had a parade for 0-16. We are used to the disappointment. So I don't know. From there, it's up in the air. I have not seen my team go far in how long? Since what, 2016, the Jays?
Yeah.
It's been almost 10 years? What happens, what happens. I'll be happy with it. It's fine.
Okay.
Win one playoff game.
Yeah.
Win one. The Browns Super Bowl, if it happens, nothing but tears.
I'm so sorry to break it to you, but it will not be happening, because Jordan Love and the boys are going to be taking that one home, okay? The Green Bay Packers are going to be walking away with it right now. There is no realism in me at all when it comes to those guys right there, all right? So I'll just – Packers, Browns, Super Bowl, all right? That's where it's at.
My boy Joe Flacco. I love him so.
All right.
Jordan –
I was going to say thank you, Jordan. Thank you for coming on, giving your insight. I'm sure a lot of our audience really appreciates hearing you, not only just on the Twitter sphere, but right here on YouTube and other podcast platforms. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Guys, we will link Jordan's Twitter down below so you can go check her out, follow her. I imagine you probably already are, but if not, then definitely go do that. She posts some fire stuff.
All right. Talk to you later, Jordan. All right, guys. So that was Jordan. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe to Blue Jays today. $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patreon members and to our YouTube members. You guys are absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!